So, it's Techtober, and there's a lot of technology that's being introduced into the world right now. Specifically, Apple's latest and greatest iPhone 11 Pros and iPhone 11. Here, we have the iPhone 11. Now, it came standard with iOS 13 in it. Not even 2 weeks in, and we already can see that we're at iOS 13.1.2. After 3 updates, Apple has fixed a lot. Or so they say. Specifically, I want to talk about iOS 13.1.2 with the battery life on an iPhone 11. The battery life is amazing on this phone, but it is an LCD paneled phone, so there is a backlight that constantly is draining the battery. I try to keep my phone in the 80 to 60% range. That generally gets me through the day. Now, I did actually have the struggle of the battery life being good up until about 13.1.1. Then I would say my battery life is actually stellar when 13.1.1 launched. Now we're at 13.1.2, so I decided to give a quick update. I generally am not a heavy user on my phone. It is currently about 12:19, and I've only had about 13 minutes of screen on time. So recently, I've made it an endeavor of mine to focus on using social media when I'm using my iPad. So that way, that can allow me to use my phone less frequently and use it for the things that I feel are appropriate for it. Even though it is a social media machine, it's also a very powerful camera. It has been refreshing to be able to do that, but more on that later. The battery has proven to be amazing on this phone, and I really am enjoying this phone and everything that it provides with all its new features, even though it more is like a SS upgrade. The more and more I actually have my phone off, the more I actually see it skipping about 2% battery usage per hour. In 13.1.1, I would actually be able to leave my phone off for a couple hours and it would be at the same percentage as when I had left it there. Then I would be able to use it and I would only lose about a percentage per hour. And that was great for me. Now when I use it, I feel like even when I use it or when I'm not using it, I'm losing about 2% per hour. I think my battery life isn't as good as it can be, but I do think it's still great. And that's my current usage of the iPhone 11 on iOS 13.1.2. More updates to come.